Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida. 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes, 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 yes.
This is Thoughts and Moments. Hey, it's your boy Sille Thoughts, the Prince of Petty.
And I'm Joy, also known as Joyride. I provide the moments to make your life better.
We're here weekly to provide the latest news, trending topics, and edutainment.
We will engage, entertain, and inform, but we keep it real and we keep it fun.
So whether you're riding in these streets or podcast surfing with your peeps, this is a show you don't want to miss.
Every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guess what? It's 5 p.m., so let's go.
Hey, it is your boy Sille Thoughts, and it is Thursday at 5, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it is 5 o'clock right here, and you are watching Thoughts and Moments right here on Jericho Broadcast Network. Joy, I learned a new term on these streets.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Joy. I'm his co-host. And this is what I get for allowing him to do all the introduction heavy lifting, leave me out. But that's okay. Please, Ellis, please do tell us, what new term have you learned this week?
Okay, so you probably know this already. It's called hatfished.
No, actually, I don't know, but I think I can guess what it is.
Okay, so it's basically, if you ever meet a guy, first time you meet a guy, and he's wearing a hat, and it looks good with the hat. And then you see him again without the hat, and his head doesn't look that good. And so it changes how he looks because he looked better with the hat on. And women say now they've been hatfished and that's why some women will make a guy take their hat off when they first meet him. And I always wondered why that would happen because I wear hats a lot. So I was like, when I was first meeting somebody, they'd be like, could you take your hat off? And I'm like, what's that about?
Because your hair might be shaped funny up on there. You know what? I've been hatfished before. You have somebody where, they like, hey, girl, you cute. And they got like the cute lips, a little beard, little goatee and everything. Then they take the hat off. It's like, where's the rest of your skull, son? Like, what happened? So yes, hatfish. I'm going to use that. in the near future. Or like somebody got like a Scully or beanie on and you take it up and they got those Busta Rhymes back of their head that you didn't see. I'm having a little flashback.
Right. I'm like,
I have been like, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Now I gotta go back. It's been a long time since I've been on them streets. So, but I'm thinking back to like okay, but like I can't remember somebody just actually getting rid of me that quickly. But I'm like, God,
shade funny. So
yeah. So yeah, hatfish. So
anyway, welcome everybody to Thoughts and Moments Radio. So glad to have you all joining us today. We are back. We took last week off because it was Thanksgiving, actually Thanksgiving Thursday, and we figured, we wanted to spend time with our families. We wanted you to spend time with your families too. Get a little turkey in you, or some tofurkey, whatever floats your boat. But I don't know about y'all, but I don't know about y'all.
Keep talking.
But I came away full as a tick. It's so interesting because, people are social distancing over the holiday. And so I'm going to tell you what I did. Because I like to cook. And I have a very small family. Both my parents were only children. So I don't have the bunches of cousins running around and whatnot. So it's not like I really missed a whole lot for Thanksgiving. But normally me and my sister, or I might go to one of my play brothers' house or whatever. And it's a turkey shared amongst 5, 6, 10 people. I got a turkey from Popeyes, so I wouldn't have to cook it. All I do is reheat. No, that Popeyes turkey is fire. They got a winning combination. I don't know why Popeyes isn't just making money hand over fist, although they might be, but we got a Popeyes turkey. I said, give me the smallest turkey you got, because I knew it was going to be just, you know, me and my boyfriend. So 2 people, whole turkey. 9 pounds was the smallest turkey they had.
Okay.
And I have had so much turkey in the last 2 days. I just finished, you know, you're not supposed to eat the leftovers for more than 5 days. I just finished the last of the turkey that I was going to eat.
Wow.
Yesterday. I was still sucking turkey and macaroni and cheese yesterday. I think I gained 5 pounds in a week, like a pound a day, just packing it on. So I got knocked out by the turkey on multiple days. It became almost an obsession. You just wake up, go to the refrigerator, turkey. I almost had a turkey. I gave some away. I gave some to another friend. And then I ended up freezing the last leg, quarter thigh thing. I was like, I'm gonna make some gumbo out of this or something one day, because I don't know what to do with it. So I'm thinking we really do show our overall wastefulness on Thanksgiving Day. We cook enough food for 10 times the people, eat till we get tired. Yeah. That's beyond getting full. You eat till you get tired.
Yes.
You pass out at the table, just right? And then, it's a gluttonous holiday when you think about it. But
it is. It's I guess you're being thankful for the abundance of food that you have, even though there's several third world countries that don't have that much food, but we're being thankful for how we could just overeat, eat, to your point, eat, fall asleep, wake up, make another plate, which is exactly what I did. As my man job went to food Friday. That's my pleasure.
You're talking about third world countries, dude. This is third world cities out here in our great states of America that could use that food. I mean, I know it's people that I saw outside. I will say this, and I was trying to be a good person, but the day I got the turkey from Popeyes, it was like that Tuesday, and I decided to give me a 2-piece. What do you call it? The little chicken strips and a biscuit while I was there, because I ain't about to eat that turkey. And so I got the turkey, it's in the seat, got my chicken strips, and I pull away from the Popeyes, and I get to the corner of Freedom Parkway, John Lewis Freedom Parkway, and Suncross Street. And this old man, he's wrapped in a comforter. He got on, the old shoes. He was looking homeless and cold and hungry. And I'm like,
please tell me you gave it to him.
I got some hot pockets. I did. So I made the corner and came back around because he was at the end of the gas station. I got some hot pockets. It's hot food right now. Red beans, rice, biscuit, everything. I didn't give him my drink because I had already drunk out of it. I was like,
right. COVID streets. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was like, thank you, baby girl. Thank you. God bless you. I was like, God bless you too. And then I watched him put my food down on the ground and go back to standing on the corner. And I want to be like, boy, you better eat that food right now while it's hot.
No, he didn't.
And so part of me was like, what? And the other part of me was like, maybe he's just going to let it cool, or he's waiting on something. But, it's food that he looked like he needed, and I clearly didn't. And so I try to be a good person, even though the devil on my shoulder is like, girl, go get your food back. He ain't eating right now.
Now you couldn't get it back. Now you could have ran to that drive-through and got that 2-piece again.
It's amazing what you
ran it back. Boy, because it's hard. It's like I only eat Popeyes. I love Popeyes, which is why I try to moderate how much I eat it, because I know it's terrible for my cholesterol and all the other things.
Oh, it's a heart attack.
It's so good going down. And I remember one year, it must have been like 5-10 years ago, I tried to eat a 4-piece the night before I was going for my physical. Needless to say.
Why would you do that?
Needless to say, my blood work was not normal that next day. And my wife was like, what are you doing? Don't you have your physical tomorrow? And I was like, oh, you're right.
I run in my sleep.
I was like, boy, I said, and I had to, I was trying to give him the pre-warning when the lady was about to stick me with the needle. I said, well, I had a 4-piece. I had a 4-piece with red beans and rice, biscuit, the whole Coca-Cola, and regular Coke, not even Diet Coke. I had the sugar. So I had, thought I had diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterol, all that. I probably had all of that. She was like, what? I was like, that 4-piece. I said, it was special, though.
She gave you your blood test back. It looked like a CVS. Here's all the problems wrong with you.
That greasy, that receipt be greasy too. When they give it to you, the receipt be greasy. So it was all wrong. But I won't do that again because I don't want to mess up my blood work and have people try to put me on medicine when I don't need to be on medicine. But I will say this: Popeyes is special. I have not had the turkey. True confession, I've always made my own turkey, and I've never had the turkey. But everybody that says they get that Popeyes turkey, they say it is special. So one of these years, I may have to break down and get it.
So here's the thing: like when I heard that Popeyes was doing turkey, I was expecting like a gigantic turkey that looked like a piece of fried chicken, like with the batter and everything fried on it. It's not that at all. It's a roasted turkey, but they take that Cajun seasoning that they use underneath the batter on the chicken, and they put that, and you can see where they like put slits in the breast of the turkey and on the back and everything, and the inside, and they put seasoning around it. And I think they cook it, but all you got to do, they give you instructions on the bag. Put this in the oven at 300 degrees for 3 hours, and you're good to go.
So do they do that for Christmas too?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get one for Christmas.
You get one for Christmas. Get one for Christmas. Because what I'm doing is rolling out the rest of the turkey I put in the freezer. We're gonna run that back for Christmas.
What does appear on the screen? What is that?
I don't know what that is, and I don't know why. But okay.
If you go put something on the screen, put that my favorite Popeyes commercial with the dude coming the door singing how you got Popeyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Hatfish comment. That is, I searched for you to find the Hatfish that you wanted to put on the air.
That's the Hatfish. Oh. That's the same dude.
Wow. Yeah, that's a Hatfish. That's definition of a Hatfish right there.
You don't expect a man's head to touch the top of the brim.
I mean, yes. He had to cover that up. I'm not mad at him.
Oh. I mean, he got a nice upper body, but
where's his hairline?
Wait,
Where
he
does
took
it
his hat off and he just looks sad. Like it's the exact same facial expression, but with no head on. It's like his eyebrows are like,
Oh.
This is terrible.
Yes.
This is terrible. This is indicative of
that's Hatfish. I didn't realize there was a whole like hashtag or something about being Hatfish. I promise you. I gotta get
in our chat room, women in our chat room, if you've been Hatfished, let us know if this is happening to you. Because I know it's happened to me, but that second one was egregious. I mean, I feel like he needs to walk around with a sign on his chest, ask me to take my hat off, Because wow.
He gonna be like some of the women that I've heard stories about, women that won't let a man see them without their makeup on. So they'll slide out the bed early in the morning and go put their makeup on and get right back in the bed so they never be seen without it. Those are the kind of men that like, start whatever happening with the hat on and then
wait till the lights go out.
Light go out. Let me go turn this light out. And they take the hat off after they turn the light out all the way back to the bed. Right. Then in the morning they slide out for that morning. They got it right there in the bathroom. Like they'll go to the bathroom. They come back. They got that hat on. He better do something. He better be magic man.
Well, I mean, if he did everything else right, that head ain't gonna matter. After round one, I'm saying. He knows what he's about. So anyway, just looking towards the future. So today's episode, everybody that may have got our notice, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here with us. And again, ladies, if you've ever been Hatfished, let us know. But I also wanted to get into just a little touch on current events because we haven't talked about it in a while. And we said today we were going to have fun. We were going to be uplifted. We were going to keep it light. but I don't want to ever get used to the fact that so many people have lost someone, especially coming out of Thanksgiving, where people talk about, the empty chair at the table. 273,000 people have lost their lives to the coronavirus, and it continues to go up every day. And be careful in these streets, because like I said, me and my boyfriend, who was the only ones here in the house, trying to work through a quarter of a turkey together with, macaroni and cheese and the rest of the stuff.
Yes.
But there were a lot of super spreader events that happened as family got together for the first time in a long time. And the problem with COVID-19 is that, one, you can't see it. And two, this idea of social distancing, someone said it great earlier online. They were like, people think it only matters to stay away from people you don't know.
Right.
But it's family members that tend to infect you because they've gone out to the grocery store, accidentally touched a gas pump or whatever. And now everybody in the house got it because everybody else touched that peach cobbler. Now everybody got COVID. So,
or they were running into the store real quick and forgot to put their mask on, and then they stood in a line behind the person that had it.
That cough left a trail of COVID behind them. Now, look, now everybody and the baby got it. So be careful, be safe. We got another event coming up for Christmas. Black Friday was mostly cyber this year, but it's been mostly cyber for a while. So, but people are trying to go shopping. They want to, see their families, and I get it. I want to see my family too. Much as they drive me nuts, I still want to lay eyes on them, but
but I think, and again, these are first world problems. So we'll make sure that that's clear, that these are first world problems. But if you got the ability to cyber shop, you should be out there in the streets. Not this year. Now, if you like and I know there's a lot of people that love the energy that comes from that many people being in the mall, knowing it's Black Friday. I get it. My mom and my aunt, for many, many years, when we would get together for Thanksgiving, they would be up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning out there in them shopping streets trying to get us kids their Christmas gifts at a lower price. So I get all of that. But this is a different year. So if you could take 1 year off, do some cyber shopping if you can. You can get all the gifts you want from the comfort of your home. Eat all that turkey, get that tryptophan, let it hit you real quick, go to sleep, get some more turkey, all of that, and you'll be safe. Because even when you wear a mask, even when you watch your distance, even when you are washing your hands and using your hand sanitizer, the risk is still there. It is not foolproof. So just make sure, because if you get something on your clothing, on your hands, and you wipe your eyes, even though you've got the mask on, if you touch something and you wipe your eyes, that virus can get through the optical nerve membrane. And so therefore, the only thing that's 100% is staying your behind at home.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Now, like when you, before COVID, you might go somewhere and somebody might have questionable hygiene habits, and, you may be able to detect an odor from them. You can smell them a mile away. And what's the first thing you say? It's in my mouth. Right. So
burning my nostrils.
It's burning my nose. Yes. It's making your eyes water. Think about how just a microscopic bacteria from body odor gets all in your mouth. It's all of that. COVID is the same way. You can't smell it, but it travels in the same way. So protect your eyes, protect your nose, your mouth. Stay your ass in the house. You know, if you can. But now here's the thing about cyber shopping. Because I got some friends that lost their mind a little bit. Remember, you still have a budget. You still only have so much money in your account. Don't get on there and be getting excited about the deals and everything. The same shopping you would have done before. Just do it. If you was about to head to Macy's or Burlington Coat Factory, go to thatthing.com, get what you was going to get, and don't get excited. And
Boy, joy is hard, though, because my iPad and my iPhone and my computer, they remember my credit card information. And all you got to do is click the button and everything populates. And next thing you know, it's coming in 2 to 3 days. But I get excited about some stuff. It's easy to get caught up in it. Let me say that.
Amazon is my weakness, because they'll be like, you bought this before. Do you want to get it again? I'll be like, you know what? I do need that again. I do need something. I didn't think about it. But this is a new body oil. And next thing you know, I spent $80 on nonsense, right? It's like going to Walmart or going to Target. You go in there for like batteries, come out with $200 worth of, I don't know. You know,
and that's intentional. I mean, they have people that study that. They learn from the Disney people, right? And so, sorry, I gotta
all that cheese you eat?
Test message. But it is Disney works really hard to try to get people to go to the left when you walk into it. I did this seminar on that. So because most people's natural inclination, most people are right-handed. So when they walk in the park, they go to the right. So in order to split the crowd and get people to go to the left, they put all this attractions and really fun stuff to the left to get, and still only about half the crowd goes that way. The same thing is that with Walmart, what they do is they fill their aisles, the end caps, or all the little tchotchke stuff, the impulse buys, back when people were still watching DVDs. That's why they would put all the DVD players, they put all the candy and the sodas and the drinks and all the little tchotchke stuff down there. Mm-hmm. And so you just buy all the end cap stuff and you've only gone in there for one thing. And they put the stuff that people want to buy in the back, right? So the stuff that people typically buy, they put it as far away from the door. So you've got to walk past all this stuff to go get that one thing.
It's the same.
Very, very diabolical.
And I feel like they learned that from Vegas because it's the same thing the casinos do. The hotel rooms are in the back of the building. You got to go through, past the craps table, past roulette, past the slot machines, past the restaurant and the bar just to get to your room. And to get out of the hotel, you got to go back past all that stuff again. And sometimes you find yourself walking and realize I didn't pass the same craps table 3 times. I'm trapped. I can't even get out. There's no windows. Yes. There's no windows in the casino, so you cannot calculate or gauge the passage of time. So you stand there all day, wandering around, looking at shiny things because everything is shiny and loud, losing your life. So that's why my parents were big casino fans. Like I have been going to Vegas since I was 14. And now because I was built the way I was, I could pass for 21 at 14 because I was 5'5" and stacked, right? So I'm nobody's checking IDs in like 1988. So I'm in Circus Casino and Hotel drinking a Tom Collins because that's the only name I remembered, and gambling with my little quarter slot machines. I think I won $25. You couldn't tell me nothing. And ain't nobody checked there, nothing. But
that's great.
It took me 3 hours.
That's a great story.
Say what?
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's all true. But I got lost in the casino and I was scared to ask somebody because I didn't want them to know I had been drinking, and I couldn't find my way back to the room. It took me 3 hours to figure out how to get back to the elevator for the hotel rooms. But anyway, so we understand that commerce and retail places are designed to make you buy, resist it all. But anyway, so today, the knockout episode, and we got some fun things we want to talk about today. So while we were busy stuffing our faces with turkey and passing out on the couch, waking up, eating sweet potato pie, going to sleep, waking up, eating peach cobbler, going to sleep, waking up, getting some yak, and going back to sleep. While we did all of this and get knocked out by a turkey, a few other people got knocked out along the way. Ellis, since you are our resident sports expert, why don't you tell the people what happened to your boy? We're going to go with Robinson first.
Okay, so Nate Robinson is a former NBA player. He's actually a great athlete because even in college, he played football as well. When he went to University of Washington, he was a football player, defensive back for the football team, and he was also on the basketball team. He chose to go to NBA, played several years, won the dunk contest, and he's only like 5'9". So he's not very tall, but he won the dunk contest because he's a freakish athlete, right? So everybody's like, okay, cool. So NBA career's over. A lot of ex-athletes try to find something else to do to keep themselves engaged. Mm-hmm. He decides to go into boxing. And he had a big personality, let's say that, when he was in the NBA. And he carried that big personality with him to boxing and decided that he was going to, because he was an athlete, he thought that he could just switch to this sport in his 30s and be good at it because he's always been good at things that he's tried. And he gets in the ring with I don't even know what the dude's name. Justin. He looked like a Ken doll with a ponytail, right? He got in with
Boxer Ken is his
Boxer
opponent.
Ken. He gets in the ring with Boxer Ken and thinks that it's a white Ken doll looking guy that he could beat this guy, and proceeded to get put to sleep with an overhead right. That was, I mean,
Overhead right.
When you watch boxing, and I was an avid boxer. There's two ways you see. There's three ways a boxer falls when he gets knocked out. There's you get hit hard, you go down to one knee. That's I just got hit hard, bell rung. Okay, I'm taking a knee. There's the fall back knockout, which is you could be falling back, he hits you, and you fall back. The worst knockout is when you fall forward, because no one has ever fallen forward and got back up. Because that is the super sleep. I got hit so hard, I couldn't put my hands out to stop my fall.
Just
you
dead.
See his hands by his side?
Yeah. He was knocked
so
out
hard.
before he hit the ground. Like
before he hit the ground.
He didn't even catch his fall. Like I'm sure he lost a tooth or two along the way.
Hopefully he had his mouthpiece in, because
at Twitter went wild for him. So
got roasted.
as he should have, because he wasn't saying. This is a great example of don't let the smooth taste fool you. So do you have there's a video, I think this is it. Yes, please play this.
Is that old man Tyson? And
no, we don't. I don't have a video of this. Is just one of the memes of Nate Robinson being still knocked out inside of the ring during the Tyson Roy Jones fight.
Couldn't even move his body, like he's still out there. There was one I saw, and somebody had overlaid the it was in the middle of Snoop Dogg clowning the crap out of him when he got knocked out. And you remember that old video game Sonic? When he goes down, it was like ping, and the Sonic rings came coming out of his body. But just
I gotta find that one.
Say what?
He said he couldn't find it.
No, I said I gotta try to find that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
The funniest meme that I saw was they had photoshopped him on a sleep number bed. And I said, you know what? And I'm like, you know what? And then okay, on the other side of that is there were people that were saying, why are we roasting this man for stepping out, trying something new? Because we always try to tell people, we always try to give people advice. Hey, try something new in your life. Life coaches do it. Counselors do it. Try something new. Take up a new hobby. Take up something else to keep yourself engaged, especially after you've retired. Whether you retired at 30-something or you retired at 60-something, they always say pick up something to keep yourself busy and active. He chose to pick up boxing, got into it, and then got into the ring, actually got into the ring with somebody versus just the exercise a lot of people do when they take up boxing. And so there was a small faction, I would say probably about 5% or less of the people out there that were trying to support Nate because they said, look, here's this guy, great athlete, took up something and didn't realize that he hadn't built up the muscle memory that is required for a boxer, somebody that has really been in the ring for a number of years. And that's really, when you play a sport for a long time, like he played basketball for a long time, there's things that he knows he could get on the court right now and do and beat most normal people, regular people on the court and make them look silly because he's got the muscle memory, even if he doesn't have it enough to play in the NBA, he's got enough muscle memory to beat any of the local bums in the gym.
Yeah, he doesn't have that wax on, wax off muscle memory of
he doesn't.
But over here right
Shane
now.
that laid the hand on Shane that laid hands on him. He put them healing hands on him. He was like, look at him, player.
Right.
And then Nate really talked trash to the kid. And I'm like, this guy was stepping up. He knocked Nate out for boxers, right? He knocked Nate out for boxing. Because if Nate had gotten in there and beaten him, it would have been a bad eye for boxing, right?
Yes.
And ultimately, Because if you're like, this dude just came out, he wasn't even boxing, and he gonna come in and beat a regular boxer or a guy. This guy, that's how he put food on the table.
Yeah.
Like,
He's coming here taking food out of my mouth and my kids' mouth. Yeah,
no. And he needed to knock him out. He needed to knock him slap out. So
The video is ready. Would you all like to see it?
yes.
Oh, you got it? Yes, please.
He's singing the hymns. He's trying to get out of ring. He's singing the hymns. He's trying to get out of ring.
And you know what?
It was a short right hook right on the button. It was a short right hook. Right, Nate was coming forward, and he just caught him with that hook, and it was night.
Right. You want to go night?
You want to go night? That's a clip.
Box covered. Look, boxer Ken said, "Don't let the smooth taste fool you."
Yes,
because he had them hands for your boy. But if you listen in the background of that video, you hear somebody going, "Oh, Lord!" That's your boy Snoop Dogg.
Oh wow!
The winner out of all these fights between him and Snoop officiated or announced on the Tyson Jones fight too. Snoop out here having the time of his life, being himself. I talk all the time about being authentic. Snoop would just show up somewhere and just be himself, and is a hit. What did he say?
Yes.
He said, "This is like my two uncles fighting at the barbecue," and it was. It was. You know, you better come get your boy. I mean, all of that.
That video is ready also if you'd like to see that one.
Yes, please. Show me that.
Boxing and Mike Tyson all over Roy Jones Jr. Snoop.
This shit like two of my uncles fighting at the barbecue. Get your uncle out of here. Get him out. You go meet me in the backyard. I'm tired of this shit. Come on. Meet me back here, huh? Get up in there, Roy. Shit, in and out.
12-ounce gloves. Not the normal 10-ounce gloves, Israel. They will blunt a little bit of the offense.
Hold on to it, Roy. Hold on to it.
Boxing and Mike Tyson all over Roy Jones Jr. Snoop.
This shit like two of my uncles.
So that's why Roy in the picture that I saw after the fight, he looked like he couldn't breathe.
Right, because let's not forget, when you talk about boxers and muscle memory, Mike Tyson is the strongest pound per square inch hitter of all time. He will knock you in the next week. I don't care how old he is. The muscles don't forget. And he punches through, which is what you're supposed to do. If you're trying to knock somebody out, you punch through the end point, like bop, 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 bop. And your boy looked like he had been sleeping on rocks.
Yeah, because he looked this uncomfortable, and I'm like,
yes, he was.
But I didn't watch the fight. I was like, I'm not paying to see geriatric fight, right? And I understand it probably got a good number.
It was for charity-ish, just for show, something to do. But I mean, first of all, I wish I was in that kind of shape. I ain't never been in that kind of shape in my life. Mike Tyson can run rings around me right now. I would never step into a ring with the man because, like I said, he hits like a Mack truck. And even a little jab might break my jaw. Like, I ain't trying to be there. What
I liked about the whole situation was Mike Tyson is 54 years old, right? 54 years old. And he's still in enough shape to do that. So like that gives, me, I'm not at that point yet in my life, but that gives somebody like me, I'm like, okay, you can still be in that kind of shape. And so I think, when you're coming up and you're a kid and you start thinking, oh man, 50 was like old. Like, when you saw your grandma or your uncles or somebody in your family that was 50, you're like, ooh. Now you go. Now you start getting closer to it. You go, wait a minute, that ain't that bad. Like, look, I can still.
I'm looking at 50-year-olds now because I'm 46. I'm looking at a 50-year-old like, okay, all right, daddy. Not realizing, at one point, this was my grandfather's age. I remember when I was in high school saying something to my mom, like, wow, yeah, and they were old. They were like 50. And she's like, I'm 50. And I looked at her like, I mean... And now when people say, because I play video games and I play online with a lot of people, and there's a kid that I play with a lot. He's in my clan, my Destiny clan. His name is Eli. Eli is 13 years old. And I'll say something and he tries to be polite about it, but I'll say a reference. I was like, you don't know nothing about that. He'll go, I wasn't alive. And I was like, God, it hurts every time I hear it. I wasn't alive. Shut up. But yeah, we getting old. But for you, you said like you want to be able to be in that kind of shape at 54 like Tyson. My body goals that I already accept I'm not going to put in the work to look this fine is Angela Bassett. That girl
yeah.
And, in great shape. And I ain't gonna do it. I like donuts and couches. And so I have a donut and couch.
Popeye's turkeys.
Popeye's turkey and macaroni and cheese. All this here. This is donuts and macaroni and cheese. And it's a part of me and I accept it. Because what I ain't gonna do is stop eating meat and work out 4 hours a day.
I've got some friends that, especially when I was really, into trying to transform my body. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I had some friends that were so into it. And I was into it. I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, it was fresh out of college and 20s, early 20s. And I was making my lunches and every day I'd pack them and I'd go to the gym and I'd have my little snacks throughout the day. And it was a lot of work. Yeah. And I see people now, it's a lot of work and they have to be real specific about what they're going to order and what they can eat and this and that. And I'm like, I like food too much. Like I like to enjoy my life. And so I do enough to where I can eat some hot wings and some potato chips like I want to and drink a beer. Not in excess, not over the top. I won't drink anymore or eat 30 wings. But yeah, but I do enough to where I can have a full diet and a full life and not obsess about it.
I am in a toxic relationship with food. Like it's abusive. Food is like, go ahead, girl, it's all right. We can be together. Ain't nothing gonna go wrong. And then when I gain 5 pounds, I didn't tell you to eat me. I didn't tell you to come in the kitchen at 7 o'clock at night looking for cheese and crackers. That's on you, girl. You did that to yourself. And then when I get on my diet for about 3 days, hey, girl, there's some ice cream in the freezer. Why don't you come on, holler at me real quick? It's like a bad footprint,
Food is a bad. Is that you're right? Toxic relationship is the best way to describe it because that's that one where you're like, I don't need to be messing with you.
Right, but
you have done me no good. But when we together,
right. When we get together, it just feels good,
Feels good for about 3 days. You ever been in a bad relationship where you were like, y'all break up, you come back, then like you'll see him, he be like, well, why do we break up? I don't even know. She's so, he or she, they're fine. And the loving was good. And y'all hook up that night. And then the next day is good. And then about day 3 or 4, you start remembering why you broke up in the first place. But you're still hanging around because you're like, well, we got back together. Let's try to work it out.
Right.
And about day 5, you get close to that first, you're like, yeah, I can't go back.
Yeah, that is my relationship with specifically the store Nothing Bundt Cakes. I don't need to go in there. Then I go in there like, well, you know what? I lost like 2 pounds. I'm doing good. I get a little cheat day, and then you go get a whole ass bundt cake, which is about 5,000 calories. And even if you get just a chunk of it, that's 1,000 calories. And you gotta have some milk or something to go with it. It's so sweet. And then you go, okay, it was just one day, but it's a whole cake. So it's 2,000 calories 5 days in a row. And then at the end of the week, you're like, I gained all that weight back. No shit, Sherlock, because you ate a whole cake over the course of 3 days. What were you thinking? And then you beat yourself up for making a bad decision. And if you're not careful, you spiral back out of control. Like, I might as well get another one. And now you just all out of control. Moderation, as our Superman Gloria Belton said, moderation is key. And so for me, impulse control.
Well, you stay with that effort, right? Well, fuck it. I had one slice.
Right.
I'm gonna eat the second one, right? So, I was watching one of those weight loss shows, like the one they did on MTV or Biggest Loser or something like that, and they had a challenge, right, to where you could get a piece of cake, but if you got the piece of cake, you're gonna have to do the obstacle course the next day, and what you ate, in terms of calories, what you ate was gonna have to match what you did on the obstacle course.
Ooh.
So people ate the cake, and the cake was, and they had a small slice, and it was like 1,000 calories. They went to the obstacle course one time and was about to die.
That's about.
I mean, all of them fall out. And the instructor said, "Well, that was 200 calories. You got 4 more times to go through this to get to that 1,000." And what he was trying to get them to do, and I thought it was a really good exercise, was understanding that to get those calories off, you got to work 10 times as hard as you did to get it in. You ate that cake in 30 seconds. You was good. It was feeling good. But the work you got to put in to burn off that 1,000-calorie slice of cake, you don't want that. So that's he was trying to get them to make better decisions about their food and what they put in their body, because those calories add up real quick.
Real quick. And it's 3,500 calories equals a pound of fat. So, just the extra 500 calories a day means you're gaining a pound a week, and that's one Pop-Tart, or one ding dong, one donut, just a large coffee, a large caramel macchiato from Starbucks. And next thing you know, you can gain a pound every day for a month. Now, 2 months later, you're 10 pounds up. And if you don't change the behavior, you're going to continue to blow up. And then you get this.
The funny thing, it was like, and this is the sneaky thing that they do when they put on the labels, and they tell you how many calories and all that stuff. And then at the very, very bottom, that most people don't read, and it says based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing most of y'all monkeys don't eat no 2,000, little 2,000 calories a day is, smoothie. Like, you could do that at breakfast if you eat the wrong breakfast. If you go to Waffle House, you can knock them 2,000 right there. You can kill them 2,000 right there.
You get your Really Tutti Fresh and Fruity, you done for the day.
You're done. You're done. You get the waffle, and then you get the hash browns, the scatters covered, smothered, and chunk.
God forbid you go to brunch and get you a mimosa on top of the rest of that. And the drinks are sneaky with it too, because they'll say, 120 calories per serving, but it's 2.5 servings in this bottle. So now you drinking 600 calories. That's a meal, So anyway, I know what I'm supposed to do. It's doing it. That's the problem. When the couch be calling me. Like, I look at my couch and it's like, come to me. Yes. We're so good together. It's warm over here. You can turn on your left butt cheek and look at the television. It's easy to get into. And so
I got a toxic relationship with my couch too.
Yep.
It's
Dr. Erica. I'm calling Dr. Erica out too, because she we were supposed to spend Thanksgiving together. She's like, my couch won't let me go. So she didn't come over. Sometimes she'll post.
I'm trying to get Dr. Erica to do a Facebook Live. She was like, me and my couch. I said, what you got going on? She said, me and my couch.
Just me and my couch, right? The couch, that's the beauty of the beauty and the horror of good, like well-made, comfortable furniture is it will swallow you whole. And there's no escaping once you get on it. I have gone to sleep with the overhead light on the couch because the switch was across the room, and I ain't gonna make it. I'm just gonna burn this electricity. Wake up in my head. So all the stuff we're talking about, though, these are all symptoms of this extensive limbo we find ourselves in, trying to figure out, are we going to get back to the way we used to be, going out and stuff, hanging out and, social distancing and everything, and being in quarantine. It was okay. Then it was a nuisance. Then you kind of got used to it around like June, July. But then now it's starting to be like, but I'm not selfish enough, and I'm not ignorant enough to think that just because I want it to be over, it's over. So I continue to quarantine and try to maintain my distance from people, for myself and for them, as much as I can. But it starts to let you lean on the couch, go just trot back and forth to the refrigerator just to look in there and see what's in there. You don't even be hungry. You just be bored. Exactly. I have
pandemic fatigue, and Dr. Erica could really talk about this. Pandemic fatigue is real. And I think counselors and psychiatrists are going to be dealing with this more often. Not just pandemic fatigue, because that's on that mental exhaustion, anxiety side, because it's so much mental energy you have to give up to get ready to go out and do things, and where you're going to go and how you're going to protect yourself. So pandemic fatigue is real. There's a depression that comes into play potentially because you're not interacting as much as you used to. We need human contact. You can go all the way back to the Romanian baby studies that they did years and years ago about just putting people in contact and being, so they won't have, these babies were dying. Those of you who don't know, sorry, I'm just acting like people know what I'm talking about. The Romanian baby studies was this. It was a orphanage in Romania, and the babies that were orphans were dying, and they couldn't figure out why. They were just dying randomly. And one of the things that they did was they moved the babies into close contact where they could touch one another, and they started surviving. And that kind of was impetus of realizing how much we need contact, physical contact with each other in order for our own survival. So as we become adults, we need less of that, but we still need it in our lives. And so there's a depression that could come with that. There could be some sort of, there could be on the extreme level, psychosis, because if you've got somebody that's already kind of paranoid or have paranoid tendencies, if they're sitting alone home on the internet, which is a crazy place, that paranoia could get ramped up, and then they could start going out and doing crazy things like, following 20-year-old poll workers, to their house because they feel like they didn't do enough to help Trump win. Exactly. I know that wasn't word. We're not supposed to say that word today. We're not talking about that. But
that story is out there. So, feel free to do your own research. We're trying to stay away from that because that just adds to the depression. So, but everything that you're saying is real. I consider myself a relatively upbeat person, but even there are days where I'm like, I don't realize that I couldn't get out of the bed until it's 1 and I have to use the bathroom. And so I got to get out of the bed. And then I realized I haven't left the bed this morning. Yeah, I'm playing on Facebook. I can pretend I'm working, but what I'm really doing is avoiding life, because I don't want to go out. I don't want to go outside. I haven't looked out the window. Sunlight. We forget how much we be outside, be with other people, have that connection. Matter of fact, what's the show with the ladies in the red under his eye? The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
So in there, where in the Handmaid's Tale, where one of the handmaids had a child that they had given to a family, but the mother, as much as she wanted a child, she didn't want to take care of it, so she didn't touch it, didn't care for it, just made sure it was fed, and the baby started to get sick, and there was nothing they could do. And I also found it interesting that they called in one of the Marthas, one of the housemaids, which was a Black woman who in her former life had been an OBGYN.
Yes.
Right. But now she's a Martha. That's a whole nother story. But she basically was like, there's nothing you can do for this child. This child is dying. There's nothing medical science will not save her. And then they allowed the handmaid to come in to say goodbye. And she held her baby all night. And the next morning, the baby had, taken to the breast, was feeding and everything, was looking pinker and healthy and everything. Human touch absolutely makes a difference. And so for those of you who are, wondering or not noticing that you miss it, give it a shot. I'm not telling you go hug a stranger because that's not smart. But I know I can speak for myself. I have a massage therapist, and it's even though it's a clinical massage, because he does a lot of sports medicine, therapy, etc. And I got some issues with muscles from the surgeries and stuff I've had. But going to him and getting a massage with the aromatherapy and just the physical touch, the warm hand on my back, it makes me feel better beyond just the release of fascia and everything else. So if you can find a place that has good COVID-safe hygiene practices, I say go get a massage. That helps with that human contact and that touch as well.
Massages do help. I was literally today, I was like, I need to make an appointment, because I've had some ailments and I've got my family here, so I get the touch and all that, but just being able to feel normal in terms of your life. Because before this, I was going to get a massage every 2 weeks. I had a standing appointment. I in the appointment go and schedule my next one, and I haven't had one in about 3 or 4 months, and I'm feeling it because I've gotten back into the gym, but now I'm hearing gyms are dangerous places again. And so now I'm like, I'm gonna have to cut back my gym, going to the gym and make a little home gym here and get back involved in that. But it's just, I'm one of those people that have, I do the opposite, and my wife gets mad at me for this, but if I don't stay active, I lose weight, right? And I ought to close down. I feel bad saying that, but it got to the point where I was, I had lost almost 20 pounds. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing ahead of time, but when your clothes stop fitting properly and you're and it's.
I know all about when your clothes stop fitting.
I'm on the other end of that. I get it. And it's not a good feeling. I'm saying it's not a good feeling.
When you don't look like you want to look.
One end or the other end. You don't look how you want to look. You understand that when you walk up the stairs and you breathing hard, you know you haven't been exercising.
Right.
If you out there running, and so it's about being. So I'm not about, being Black in America. It's less about body shape, but it's about physical. It's about how are you healthy? Right?
Fitness. Yeah.
Fitness. Are you doing enough to stay healthy? Are you active in some way? Every day. Dr. Erica said this on her Medical Moments video that she shot for us, is that you have to stay active in some way every day. If you just go out for a walk, just staying active and keeping your mind busy and exercise. Because again, you're staying in the bed. I'm like, if I didn't have a work call every day, I don't know if I'd get up out the bed until noon.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I work for myself, and sometimes I'll set things and I'll realize it's almost like an unconscious thing. Like the night before, I look at my schedule, like, oh, I don't have a session until 1. And then this morning, my alarm goes off at 7. I wake up and just kind of wallow around until about 9. Then I decide to like brush my teeth, and I'll get back. Don't let me get back into bed, because then that's a wrap. So, 10 minutes to 1, and then it's like, hello. And I'm doing. I got sweatpants on at the bottom and a blazer on the top, tank top on top.
I do the daily live every day. I do the daily live. At 8 o'clock, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my work day started. Then it gets to be 8:30. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I'm gonna get up, and I know I got that call at 10. At about 9:45. That's when I start rushing to get myself together. Hey, how y'all doing? And I'm like, and that happens more often than not. There are some days where I do force myself and I get going, but it's like, it's tough. And one of the things Dr. Erica told us is that we need to set a schedule and we need to stick to it. We need to schedule everything from meals to work, to exercise, to when you go to bed. You've got to make a schedule and try to stick to that schedule. Discipline is very, very important. Find your areas where you can have contact, even if it's just a massage, as Joy said, find an area where you can have some contact with somebody. Because I know we're getting Zoom fatigue too. I mean, because we were Zooming, and that was cool at first. You got to see your friends and y'all were interacting, but there's nothing like being in person. There's nothing like the nuance of body language. And you miss a little bit of that at Zoom, because I can turn my camera off and y'all won't even know it, right? So it's like you can just hear my voice, and that'll be it. So there's some things that get lost in Zoom, including that touch and contact. So you've got to pick your spots, really be intentional. That's the word. You have to be intentional about what you do in order to get over pandemic fatigue and don't slip into one of these other more serious psychiatric illnesses like depression, anxiety disorders, and whatnot.
Right, because if you're not careful, then pandemic fatigue can knock you out. Like Robinson got knocked out, boom!
And you'll do the forward knockout. Right. Well, you can't even catch yourself.
I mean, when your face is turned to the side and your arms are like back with your palm up, nothing in you said catch the ball. Nothing.
Yeah. Even red fell backwards, and they got up. They got up and ran to the car.
Right.
And I don't know if y'all saw the graphic that we had for today's show. I got the thing on the car, and then I got Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Damn. I mean, because I was like, it fits. I mean, it fits so well. I mean, and I do feel bad for. And I'm saying this when I'm thinking about the Roy Jones and Mike Tyson situation. And when it first got announced, I was like, "Oh, cool! That sounds cool."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Why is it that there's still an audience for 50-year-old fighters to get in the ring?" And so I was talking with another friend of mine that we're both really into sports, and it was kind of like, whose fault is that? Like I understand that both Roy Jones and Mike Tyson were big in their time, huge. But that means that where's the boxing game right now, where those two guys can probably pull a bigger number than current fighters in terms of ratings and things like that. And that's it's a little bit sad that, and I know we're consuming a lot of content right now. We're sucking up as much content, and so that's the big thing. Is content creation. What can we do to pull all these eyes? Because there's 300 million eyes that are looking for something to do and looking for content to consume. Some of it has gone off into QAnon world and crazy world. Some of it has gone to more creative pursuits and are doing things to create content. But then there's the big portion of us in the middle that are consuming content. And why are we more apt to consume that? Is it because it's something that we know that's familiar to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you were saying that, you're like, why is there still an audience for 54-year-old boxers to do a fight, whether it was exhibition or whatever? But then I remember, the draw every year at the end of Essence Fest is Frankie Beverly and Maze. Frankie Beverly is like 105. There's still this draw, this nostalgia, if you will. And it wasn't like they went and pulled just a random boxer from the 90s. They pulled Mike freaking Tyson. Even people who never saw him fight know his name. And then, you might think some old has-been Mike Tyson. Then they started showing the pictures of him being in shape. And you, again, damn, because dude had muscles on top. His muscles had muscles. Yeah. And he was still fast. And he looked like he still had it, which, again, from a nostalgia standpoint, makes us feel like we still got it.
You're right.
So
you're right.
To see it. It's just like when you, 20, 30 years from now, if Beyonce is still out there, there's going to be people like, I'm still in the Beehive. Like, you are 50.
Ask your mom about Tina Turner. Look, my mama right now would say, oh, that Beyonce ain't nothing but Tina Turner.
Exactly. If you catch some of Tina Turner's old sets, she's right. She's right. Beyonce is this generation's Tina Turner. Yeah. Tina had legs before Beyonce had legs.
She did. She did. And had legs at 70. And I expect Beyonce to be the same way. Yeah. Had legs at 70. So, it cycles through. You're absolutely right. When you see them, it reminds you of those days. It reminded me of the 90s when Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet. And that was just the energy, all the energy that era had. Because, those of us in this 40-something realm, the 90s was it. Like, the 90s was the hottest decade. I was
just about to say, like, if they had a concert with, like, Dougie Fresh and Black Sheep, Tribe Called Quest, Busta Rhymes, I'd be front and center. I pay all my money to go see them with nobody around me right now, but because that's what we know, what we love. It's familiar, and it makes us feel good. And that 38 to 55 demographic, that's the disposable income consumer demographic. So they hit it just right. They're looking for it.
I think we've got to do, a better job in terms of macro sense of really understanding. Because you get to this point, you're right, that 38 to 55, I'm at a point now, like, I'm not trying to get to understand the Gen Zs and the Gen Xs and all. Well, we're Gen X, but the Gen Ys and the millennials, I sound like an old man when I go, I don't understand them. And I really should start leaning in, talking more, and getting to understand, and not trying to be the old guy that's trying to sound cool. No. But just being the older person that says, okay, maybe I can translate for some of the people that don't understand what their world is. My daughter had to explain it to me the other day. It was like I was talking about my son and his addiction to his phone and always watching videos, and he doesn't watch TV. Everything's on the phone. Everything's on the phone. Yeah. And she was like, well, Dad, I didn't get a phone. Like, phones didn't come out until like 2010. Smartphones really started picking up around 2010 and social media. And she was like, by then I was already 10. So I grew up a big portion of my life without having a phone. She's like, he was born in 2007. So that by the time he became aware, phones were it, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's all he knows and all he doesn't. So we're talking about what's happening in sports. And I'm like, how do you know that you didn't watch the game with me? I was the only one in the living room watching the game, but he gets the highlights on his phone. He knows the player. He knew all the stats. Oh, he was rattling stuff off to me. I was like, how do you know that and you're not watching the game with me. He was like, no, I get the highlights on
Different
YouTube.
consumption model, you know. And to your point about kids growing up, you know, they used to grow up with like a silver spoon in your mouth. Now you grow up with an iPhone in your mouth. But it reminds me of the story of one of our friends. Her baby, who could barely walk, went up to the TV and was like, because that's what you do on a phone.
Oh,
swipe it.
tried to swipe.
You're supposed to be, I don't want to watch this. So I'm trying to change the channel as a 2-year-old, you know? So interesting, right? But I mean, it is just a different way to consume things. But to I think the point that you're making, or that can be made from that, is don't knock it just because it's not what you do. You know, as we're both in that inclusion space, I love what you're saying about, you know, you don't have to say what they say. You don't have to use their lingo and their jargon, but you do need to be able to understand it, translate it into something that's relatable to you so you can make that connection. I talked earlier about my friend Eli, who's only 13. He's up in Canada. He's in my video game.
Be careful. I don't want Chris Hansen showing up here on your doorstep.
That ain't his dad is also in our clan, right?
Okay.
But,
all right.
But the other day I'm listening to them because we're all talking. It's like 6 of us in the group, and he's asking another kid who's in there who's 14 about a text he got from a girl, and I'm listening to this horrible advice that the 14-year-old is giving him, and I was like, no, Eli, check this out. Let me tell you something. This is why she did it. This is what she wants. Let me tell you, listen to me, because I'm a grown woman, and I'm telling. And his dad is like, yeah, she's right. Do that. Don't do that. And so you can make it. Now, this kid is 30 years younger than me, but we made a connection behind, because, you know, relationships don't change at their fundamental base. How you go about, he's talking about texting and TikTok and liking and stuff. And I could translate what he's saying to how it used to be in my day with 3-way phone calls, hiding on the phone, pretending they're not there, and all that kind of stuff. It was a good conversation.
Yeah. So I think we have to find and I think what you're speaking to is we've got to find the connection more than the disconnection, right?
Yes.
So instead of saying, boy, when I was growing up, we didn't have all that. My mom used to say, get off my phone. You take on my phone bill. You couldn't call long distance. So we tell all this stuff that you couldn't do. Instead of saying, okay, here's how y'all are doing it. Here's how we did it. It's the same thing. We're really just trying to engage with one another. Smartphones allow us to engage at a different level and engage more. And it's changed how engagement happens. But at the end of the day, back then, there was a hotline when somebody's parents were going out of town. And somehow everybody knew whose parents were going to be out of town and who was having a party that weekend. And we didn't need smartphones to do that.
What lie you going to tell your parents? You know, but I was thinking about this, like a Spotify playlist is the new mixtape. Right?
Yes.
Playlist. It's still the same curated music with a story and all that kind of stuff. You just ain't got to listen to the radio to do it.
Exactly. I ain't got to get the recorder, the play button, and line it up and hit that. Oh boy, I had a slow jam tape in college.
It was successful.
I had to have a moment right there, boy.
Well,
that Luther, I miss Luther. I promise you.
I have nothing. That was like that was a trick. That was a trick that dudes used to pull. They put Luther on, and it was because Luther was one that made you think like the dude was sensitive, and you know
Luther, when he come in at that superstar, I need to have you next to me. Boy, Luther was shut down. Yep. But and Michael Jackson late in my life. Because it's just that song right there, it get him every time. Because he built up at the end. And I mean, it was just such a melodic song that it was, and that's the one thing I do say, I'm gonna sound like an old man just for a hot second. Music has gone so far, they've pushed the edge so far, and it's about being popular, and we've lost real R&B, kind of the love part of music. I don't hear it as much in music. I'm not talking about rap. I'm just talking about in the R&B side. Yeah. We've lost that creative love, you know, that Atlantic Star kind of love, that kind of Midnight Star, you know, Shirley Murdoch kind of. We've lost some of that because I don't know. Like, I think her is great. I love her. Like, she is a special artist, and I'm not talking about her artistry. I'm just overall, I think the industry has moved a little too far into becoming too sexual and not sensual and romantic, in my opinion.
I hear you. I do hear you. I do think about, Silk from back in the day. Like we had our shit, let me lick you up and down. But I do think that, again, you say we've lost that romantic artistry. I think we have lost it, our generation, because we don't consume things in the same way that this younger generation does. So while we are sitting here like, I don't hear it on the radio, it doesn't come up in my Pandora playlist. That's because we still listening to Luther. And and Luther's not going to be played on the same radio as her. I'm thinking about like
I still listen to Climax.
There's a lot of R&B in the UK right now too, like Georgia Smith, Mahalia, LMA. And so I've got all their albums, and they have some really good like stuff that I bop to, like stuff that I can get into, play the whole CD in the house, or play the whole playlist in the house while I'm pretending to clean up and really laying in the bed, all of that. Right. So I think it's just like finding it is a different thing, because you're not going to get the top 88 on the radio like you used to. New music doesn't come to us the way it comes to them, because they've got different algorithms that show them different things. And I think there are more artists out there that are doing good, positive things. I didn't hear about Chance the Rapper until he had been out for like 3 years. Then I'm you guy. And they were like, you late like CNN up in here, Joy. Like, so it's just how you consume it, I think, makes the difference. But I don't think R&B is dead by any stretch. Not that
I don't think it's dead. I just think that when I listen to the radio, like, and especially like, and now
there's
like
a problem right there.
All satellite, right? So like even on satellite radio, it's kind of like regular radio. They got a playlist, and so it's like the top 20 songs that are out, the top 20 or 30 songs, and then they'll mix in a few new things every once in a while, and you're like, give me some variety. But I don't know, but again, and it's a psychological thing. Things that are repeated to us become familiar, and that's what we start seeking, right? Yep. And so that's why payola, and for those of you who don't know what payola is, it was back in the day, I don't know if they probably still do it, is they would pay the radio DJs, the producers and managers would pay the radio DJs to get a artist song in rotation heavily, because they know the more plays it got, the more people would like it and seek it out. Even the songs that they didn't like at first, if you hear it enough, it starts to seep into your unconscious. And so when you start thinking about things like that, like I'm hearing the same songs over and over again, I'm like, after a while, I'm kind of like, I don't like it, but I'm like, after a while, I'm like, oh, okay, that's okay.
And now, Shazam has changed that game a little bit. Like, I know that I'll ask somebody, what's that song, whatever. Oh, Shazam, and you listen and get the artist, etc. And I think about how much I'm thinking about. Just bear with me for a second. Watching a show like So You Think You Can Dance, hearing a song I've never heard before, and then all of a sudden that song is popping up on Pandora. I'm hearing it on the radio. It got popular because the millions of people that watch and vote on that show heard it, Shazammed it, and now it's, without the radio station ever being involved, it's now a top download, going, hearing something in a commercial. There's a song called Too Close. And I remember it was in a Toyota commercial, and the commercial was fire. And the commercial blew up the song, So there's different ways these are individual instances, but there's different ways that people find stuff.
Oh, TikTok now, that artists are realizing the importance of TikTok. And so they're writing songs, and they're creating TikTok dances to go with their song, because they know they'll get the plays as like people start creating their own TikTok.
Yada, 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 yeah, that.
And so, and so it's like
exercise.
It's changed how the industry works, right? So you're like, I just need a 3-second play. I understand a little bit about how artists get paid, and they get paid like some ridiculous percentage of a penny for each airplay. That's why they need those millions of airplays in order to start making some money. But that's also how, if you get a song that gets really, really hot and gets to that several million, billion, like
Don't Rush.
Don't Rush, that blew up. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I was like, that dude, I was like, he was terrible. But then you go on YouTube and his videos has 500 million views.
Right.
The dude, Gucci Gang, that supported Trump, Lil Pump, or whatever his name is. I was getting the link to the song because somebody didn't know, a friend of mine didn't know it. I was like, well, let me, you know the song, you can't put the artist with the song. So I went to YouTube to give him 1 billion plays of that video.
Wow.
And I know YouTube starts paying after a certain point. After you reach a certain number of views,
500,000, I think.
They start paying. I'm like, this dude is making, he had one song and 1 billion views and it's still getting views. He's still getting residuals from YouTube off of that play. Because YouTube is, every play they're getting money from their advertisers. And so I understand how the whole game works, but it's just disappointing to me to see how the industry has flipped to that level, to where before it just seemed like, and maybe that's why I'm dating myself, before it seemed like you worked hard in your garage, in your basement to develop your talent, to develop your skills. Then somebody recognized that, you got signed, and then they would put money behind you. Now you've got to walk into a record contract with a following. You've got to have views and plays and all this stuff that you generated on your own before they start thinking about signing you, and then they'll put some energy and effort behind, blowing you up bigger. But it's like these people are working so hard just to get a following, just to get plays. Hey, could you play my song? Could you download my song? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, it's just different. And I'm not saying there's better or worse. Mm-hmm. It's just you connect more to what was normal to you when you were growing up during your formative years. And I think that's the issue.
Look at what we're doing right now. We have a radio show. We didn't start off as a production assistant in the studio or anything, gopher at a radio station. We just popped up like, hey, thoughts and moments, get with it. Like and subscribe to our Facebook page, and now we've got followers and views, etc. And we're on the Jericho Broadcast Network. We're a network radio show, and we didn't have to go through the things that someone would have had to go through 15 years ago to get 5 minutes airtime on, WABC or whatever, so things change for the better for us. But
for the better. You're absolutely right. I mean, when you think about it like that, you go, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. But even before, when we were with Larry on blogtalkradio.com, where that wasn't even out when we were in the 90s, right? So you couldn't even think about doing your own radio show. You had to go to school, or you had to start as a production assistant and get lucky enough to work at a radio station.
Unpaid intern.
Unpaid intern, and then they liked you enough to be able to you could start doing the news leads. They give you a little 2-minute segment, and you work your way up to get on the mic. That take a long time. Now you're like, okay, I can do my own show. If I can build my own enough following, then maybe I can get some of the big boys to look at me. If not, we can be cool right here because we can scratch that itch by doing this. I know we're about to blow up at Jericho.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of, we are actually over time, and I know you got a hard stop. I got a hard stop, so we got to get up out of here. But I wanted to thank our sponsors whose commercials we did not show today. So thank you to My HBCU Pride and Joy, which was our first sponsor. Please go check out her website if you need clothing for the future generations of HBCU students. And also we have a new sponsor.
Oh,
Sugar Chateau.
Yes.
Remember the cakes in the jar that we tried? Yes. So go check out sugarchateau.com. Get you a COVID-friendly set of cakes in a jar. The red velvet is fire.
Yes,
and you'll be seeing those commercials in rotation next time. We were just getting back, got to get into the swing of things, get that muscle memory back. So we'll have our format correct the next
I need that HBC Pride and Joy because I've made a decision, like I'm going to get some sort of apparel from every HBCU.
Yeah.
And just rock it, because I got a Tuskegee sweatshirt from when my daughter was visiting Tuskegee, and I was wearing it the other day. I wore it to the gym. I was like, you know what? Why can't I get a Morehouse sweatshirt? Why can't I get I understand I'm rattling all day long, but I think we've got to show support for our HBCUs, especially in today's time.
Get the licensed gear, Ben.
Yes, I'm getting the licensed gear.
Amazon bootlegs. You know,
Yeah,
because
no bootlegs.
HBCU Pride and Joy is licensed. Everything she has is licensed through the school. So you support.
Oh yeah, all day. I'm getting that. So yeah, so please, if you're an HBCU grad, or if you just support HBCUs, you don't have to be an HBCU grad. If you support HBCUs and the mission that they have, go get you some gear, you know, and rock that joint, and just be like, hey, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of old school music, rock that. Anyway, for the folks that have hung with us this long, I appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you for being part of our new Jericho family. You're going to see more and more stuff from us. We'll be back next week with another live show. But in the meantime, I hope that you guys have a safe evening, a safe weekend. Get outside, get some sunlight, but not too close to nobody else. And
it's 3 W's. I learned this. It's the 3 W's. Wear your mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. 3 W's. Very 1, 2, 3.
Right. And on that, we are out. So
you're a philosopher?
Yes.
This is Thoughts and Moments. Hey, it's your boy Sille Thoughts, the Prince of Petty.
And I'm Joy, also known as Joyride. I provide the moments to make your life better.
We're here weekly to provide the latest news, trending topics, and edutainment.
We will engage, entertain, and inform, but we keep it real and we keep it fun.
So whether you're riding in these streets or podcast surfing with your peeps, this is